What up, though, y'all? What up, though? What up, though? We are back again with an episode of Lions 411. It's your boy King Keith. You already know y'all can follow me Instagram, Twitter _Dr. King's Dream. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to my co-host.
What up, though? What up, world? It is your girl CB. You can follow us on Lions 411 Podcast on TikTok, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. You can definitely hear our voices. Let's get into it today. Let's wrap up the AFC. What are we on? The AFC North.
Yes. We're going to talk about the AFC North. Y'all may be seeing this as one episode together. Maybe it's one separate episode, but we are running through all the divisions.
Separate.
Trying to get some previews for y'all, letting y'all know exactly what to expect from this season. We consider our predictions to be expert predictions.
What?
Y'all can judge us on those by the end of the season or maybe mid-season if they're looking that horrible. But with that being said, of course, we are talking about the AFC North, which is our last division in the AFC. And I guess you could say the most interesting. I think the AFC West is a little bit more interesting, but they call this division, some people call this like the black and blue division. We all know the NFC North is the real black and blue division. But this division is pretty tough too. So, CB, who we got in this division?
All right, for you non-football fans out here. First, we have the Cleveland Browns. See, you just laugh after the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're a disaster just waiting to happen. You just can't look away, though. All right, the next team.
We'll talk about them, but I got opinions on Cleveland. I do.
All right, shout out to Shador. All right, next team is the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, we know division winners. We know they go to the playoffs, but they usually can't finish, but whatever. All right, next we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were always mid. They are only going to win 10 games or less. We know that. All right, next we have Cincinnati Bengals. We know that offense is high-powered, but that defense is mid. So they not going nowhere. This season for the Cincinnati Bengals is a waste of time. Oh, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Because Cincinnati, your organization, you piss me off. Not adding no defensive pieces.
Yeah, Cincinnati's ownership is definitely certainly questionable. It's like them and like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm like, whose ownership is worse? Because sometimes it just doesn't seem like they want to win. With that being said, though, and I mean, we can get to talking about them. The Bengals are one of the more interesting teams, I'd say, in the conference, and definitely one of the few interesting teams in this division, because this division is pretty strange. But the Bengals, like you mentioned, high-powered offense. Obviously, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Jamar Chase at this point has almost catapulted himself into that best wide receiver in the league. It goes back and forth between him and Jefferson.
Best wide receiver in the league is, drumroll, Jamar Chase.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're declaring it. All right.
Because it's too much talent for them to be 9-8. It's too much talent, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the offense, high power. I mean, even the running backs, I like Chase Brown. Offensive line is a little bit wonky, but just trying to make improvements here or there. They got some guys they're counting on to maybe take some steps forward, but we'll see what that looks like. But just in general, the Bengals are going to score a shit ton of points. This is just what they do. Very, very high power offense. Going to continue to be a high power offense as long as those guys are healthy. But as you mentioned, the defensive side of the ball is a little bit sus. They did draft, of course, Shamar Stewart in the first round, and it took them several months to sign him, but they finally signed him.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, they wanted to put weird, strange language in his contract that he wasn't feeling. He did end up getting a fully guaranteed contract, but neither here nor there. They signed him to hopefully go in tandem with Trey Hendrickson, but Trey Hendrickson is currently in Florida while the Bengals are training in Cincinnati. So not really sure what the deal is there. Trey Hendrickson wants some more guaranteed money, blah, blah, blah. Trey Hendrickson has been outstanding the past several years and really throughout his whole career. And the Bengals just aren't seeing eye to eye with what it looks like to reward him. if they are able to get Trey Hendrickson playing, I think that makes them a little bit more interesting.
They better.
Yeah, they got to figure it out at some point. Like they need him playing. I feel like if they could have him and Shamar Stewart plays well, and they get some big performances maybe from some other guys, I think their secondary has some interesting pieces. They got a lot of young guys, some guys who didn't really perform well last year, but have performed well in the past. I really like DJ Turner, obviously a Michigan guy, but I think DJ Turner has a lot of talent. I don't know if Awuzie is still there in the secondary or not. Cam Taylor-Britt had a ton of struggles last year. I mean, it's a lot going on there. But there is talent. There are guys that have been good or can be good. It just got to be coached up. It really does. But if you can get a pass rush going, that makes your secondary look a lot better. So there's a path to the Bengals having not worst in the league defense at least, but it starts with them signing Trey Hendrickson. Like you got to get Trey Hendrickson on the field.
Most sacks in the NFL, Trey Hendrickson with 17 and a half. Stop picking a fight with that man, and you better sign him.
I just feel like with this offense, like how many years are you willing to waste? Because it can be the best offense in the league, and if you could just put up a okay defense, like which an elite pass rusher can kind of almost push you towards, like just pay him. Just pay him. Like you pay him, you maybe make a couple other moves or whatever. Like you can win a Super Bowl if you can have the best offense in the league and start to build up a defense that is somewhat average, get to above average maybe in a couple years, like make some moves. You can do that. They have already been to the Super Bowl at this point. Like I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah, that man, that leadership is terrible. I'm like, I agree. Okay, you might want T. Higgins, you want Jamar Chase. They pretty much present like a package deal, but you gotta do something with Trey Hendrickson. You got to.
It makes no sense to me to sit there and waste the potential prime of this team. You don't always have a side of the ball that can be the best side of the ball in the league. But if you're gonna waste it, like what is the point? What is the point? You cannot win anything with the worst defense in the league. You can win with an average defense. You can win with an okay-ish defense. You can't win with a defense that's just flat out bad. And if you don't have your best player on defense, then I don't know how you have a defense that isn't horrible. I don't understand. So the Bengals, strange. It gets even stranger as you move toward the other side of the state with the Browns.
At the other side of the state.
They're both just, I don't know, they're strange teams. And the Browns are like the opposite, where the defense is really good, but the offense is horrible.
First of all, okay, we know about the defense. Defense is good. What the hell is going on with all these quarterbacks, man? I mean, what is this, like a dating show? Why do we have 5 quarterbacks? Like, who are we marrying? Damn.
So the quarterback thing is so many layers to it, and having lived in Ohio for plenty of years and having a bunch of friends and frat brothers and all that who are big Browns fans, I've looked at the situation very detailed, and it looks like this to me. Joe Flacco is going to be the starter. Joe Flacco's obviously old, and he's not an elite quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. But he can be capable. Which again, capable is like almost winning games, because this team is not going to win a lot of games regardless.
Almost winning games.
Almost winning games, keeping them competitive, I think, is the goal for Joe Flacco early in the season. Kenny Pickett, kind of just there as a real NFL backup, as in, like, if Flacco gets hurt, you got a guy that can come in early on and play, because he has technically played and has had okay moments, I guess. Not a high level quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Not, in my opinion, a starting quarterback in the NFL. Definitely a backup. The drafting situation was quite strange. Dillon Gabriel, I just think was a reach. It was a reach, flat out. He was not a 3rd round talent. Dillon Gabriel's not even 6 feet tall. Dillon Gabriel does not have a very strong arm. He played in a very gimmicky offensive system at Oregon. These aren't things that typically lead to quarterbacks being good. Now, does he have some accuracy? Sure. Does he have some zip in the short area? Whatever. He's somewhat athletic as well. So there are traits. There are traits that are there. This is a quarterback that you don't pick above the 6th round, I don't think.
Ooh.
But they took him in the 3rd round. I don't know why. And then they proceeded to take Shedeur Sanders, who obviously there's, again, a lot of layers to that situation as well, because he was projected a potential late 1st round, early 2nd round guy. He fell to the 5th round for some inexplicable reason. And in Cleveland, one of the teams who actually already did take a quarterback ended up picking him anyway. He's the guy that should be the long-term option for this team. He's a lot better player than Dillon Gabriel is, in my opinion. Physically, mentally, whatever. Like, he processing. Colorado wasn't playing necessarily a pro-style offense, but it certainly wasn't like Oregon's offense. You had to make some reads in that Colorado offense. Shedeur was also playing with a terrible offensive line. And he was tough. Shedeur was tough. He stood behind that line and he took hits. This is a guy who does have an NFL arm that can make NFL reads. Like, he's not perfect. It's going to take some time to develop. I think Joe Flacco's the guy. If he stays healthy, eventually this thing gets passed off to Shedeur Sanders. I think Dillon Gabriel will be out of the league in a couple years.
Damn. Not out of the league in a couple years. Okay, so question. Do you think Shedeur Sanders is coming in sometime this season?
Yes.
You think so?
I do. Either because Flacco was hurt, Flacco wasn't performing, or they've lost enough games to the point where they can just say, all right, we're looking toward the future at this point. It'll be some combination of those. And I don't think this is a horrible team overall. The defense is still really good. I don't know why Myles Garrett chose to stay there long term, but he did. But the defense is really, really good. They drafted Mason Graham. Again, as I continue to say, a Michigan guy. Say it with me, folks. Drafted Mason Graham. The secondary is good, like, very talented. What they're doing on offense, no clue. They drafted the kid from Ohio State, Quinshon Judkins, instantly domestic violence charge, typical Ohio State business. They just don't have a lot on offense. Jerry Jeudy was actually good last year, and I think Jerry Judy's like
nice.
High-level number 2 receiver for sure. And if you need him to fill in as number 1 on a bad team, absolutely. Kind of like Calvin Ridley is who he reminds me of. Alabama receivers stick together.
He gave you 1,200 yards.
Yeah, I mean, legit. He had some huge games. But I don't know. They're just, if Jerry Jeudy is your best offensive player,
that's terrible.
Like,
I
what?
like him.
I do too, but he's, again, a high-level number 2, low-level number 1. Like, I can name a lot of receivers that are better than Jerry Jeudy. And again, good player, but Jerry Jeudy should not be your best offensive player. I guess Njoku's pretty good, but like...
Well, wait a minute. Back this thing up. You forgot to mention who Cleveland is currently married to. Deshaun Watson. What about Deshaun Watson? Are they moving up off him? I know that contract is crazy. I know it was probably the worst contract they want to say in NFL. I don't know. NFL history. But are they moving off Deshaun? I know he has the Achilles injury. I know they said he might have re-tore it in January. I'm not sure how true that is. But Deshaun Watson, tell me about him.
I was trying to do Cleveland some favors because I think that what I'm trying to do is what they're trying to do. We don't talk about Deshaun Watson. We just hope that it goes away and everybody forgets that this ever happened. He's not going to play this year. Obviously, he's hurt. I think that they hope that Shedeur Sanders maybe will look good enough to where they don't have to explain why Deshaun Watson isn't playing when he finally is healthy. Because otherwise people will be like, oh, well, why is Watson not playing now that he's healthy? Hopefully Shedeur is good enough to where they can be like, look, we have a better option. We're going to roll with him. If Shedeur is not good, then it's going to be like, oh, shit, like, wait, we do have this guy that we're paying $60 million a year or $70 million a year, whatever they backloaded his cap number to be. It's a mess. I'm so over talking about Deshaun Watson because I said it was a dumb move from day one. Also, he's probably a horrible person, so that makes it even worse. It's a mess. It is a mess. It is very typical of Cleveland.
Football wise, do you think Deshaun is done? If he gets healthy, you think he's done? Okay.
Cooked. Yeah, because there was no reason why he was that bad when he was healthy. There was no reason other than he just wasn't playing good.
Well, I'm not trying to make no excuses for Deshaun Watson. I know this is a controversial topic, but his offensive line was terrible. I'm sorry.
They were not good. I don't know if I would call them terrible at every single stage that he was playing with the Browns, though. And again, with Houston, he was fantastic with horrible rosters. They were 4-12 that last season, and he threw for 4,500 yards and like 40 touchdowns, and ran for hella yards and hella touchdowns. So clearly, a good or bad offensive line shouldn't make that much of a difference. You should still be
In
okay.
Cleveland, it does. They ranked 31.
Okay, but let's take Joe Burrow, for example. Horrible offensive line. His offensive line is horrible. Not saying that Deshaun Watson should be expected to be Joe Burrow. You can still show talent or capability, at least, with a bad offensive line. They don't miss a block every single play. Even on the plays where they're blocking, you're still bad.
Joe Burrow had to change up his play style last year, though. He had to hurry it right on up.
So why Deshaun Watson couldn't do that? Because he's not good.
With the Texans, he was good. Here,
Absolutely.
obviously, in the Browns. But the Browns is the Browns. The Browns got bad coaching also. They got a bad offensive line. They got bad coaching. But I'm not saying that he's going to be good. I think I'm leaning more towards Wash. But the plays I've seen, the man was running for his life. Even when he got his Achilles snapped, he was running for his life.
The best hope the Browns got, by the way, that was probably karma. The best hope the Browns got is that hopefully Shedeur Sanders makes everybody forget that Deshaun Watson is even there. They just let the contract run through and just act like it never happened. Deshaun can walk off happily with all the money in the world.
Must be the money. Shout out Deion Sanders.
I mean, shout out Deion. Fully guaranteed. I mean, the NFL doesn't give out fully guaranteed contracts. They gave out a fully guaranteed contract to a Predator who hadn't played in 2 years. I can't.
Yeah, I saw it roll across my screen, I said 250 or 240 million guaranteed. I said, woof. That's very interesting.
As a fan of the Lions, who obviously have not been very easy to root for throughout my lifetime, that would have been the thing that made me leave the team. If the Lions did that, I might have had to stop being a fan. I'm not going to lie. I would have had to move on.
I mean, nothing's going to make me move up off the Lions, but the move was bad.
That move would have made it really hard because not only was it a stupid move from a football perspective, but it was a horrible move from a human perspective. Why would you give that to a player who are you bidding against?
But the Browns ownership and Cincinnati Bengals ownership, I mean, it's just bad. I don't know who be running the show. I forgot these old white men names, but it's just bad.
It's levels, though, because Cincinnati is, like, cheap bad. The Browns, like, I don't know. Like, it's like intentionally drive your car into a wall bad. Like, what are you doing?
I just hope that Shedeur is good. I hope that, I would say around week 8, week 9, I want to see Shedeur.
I do too. I hope that they give him a chance. I have questions about how Cleveland is handling this situation already, though, because they currently have him repping 4th, which, I mean, he was picked after Dylan Gabriel, but, like, clearly he is the most talented. He has the highest upside of anybody in that quarterback room. You got to make sure you're getting him as many reps as possible. Don't have him just sitting there. Like, whatever optics, image you're trying to play for, you want to make it look like whatever. No, put the best damn football player out there. And he's going to probably have the best future out of the guys on this roster. I don't think that there's any question about that.
Yeah, I think they should put him out there week 8, week 9. I know they want to... Okay, with Shedeur and the Deion family, I don't know why the NFL want to humble them so bad. I don't know why they want to put them through all these situations, but it is what it is. That's what I think the Browns doing. They're trying to put him 4th because they're trying to rattle the boy. Just like they was asking him at the press conference the other day, well, what do you think about being... and they really wanted a bad answer, and he wouldn't give one. And I don't like what they're doing. I don't like what they're doing.
It's lame at this point. It's very much lame. It's very much played out. Clearly, they had some kind of a point to prove. Don't know what the point was, but multiple people involved had a point to prove. And as we mentioned, Shador, for one, tough. You can't ever call it. You can't say, oh, he failed because he's soft, because he's a pretty boy, whatever. Because he sat behind that offensive line and he took hits year after year. You can't say that he a bad person, because he has not shown anything that exhibits him being a bad person. He ain't been in no trouble besides a little speeding ticket.
Nope.
Like, he has done nothing wrong. All his teammates think very highly of him. Everybody that he's played with seems to love him. I mean, I'm assuming so, at least. I haven't really heard too much bad about it. I mean, he's in the community. I don't know if you see, but like all this stuff that's going on in Cleveland, there was like this apartment fire and all these people lost their stuff, and they had a little fair to like try and get things back together. And Shador just popped up. Like, he was like, I could just give some money to donate, but you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to make myself felt in the community. One of my frat brothers, he had an event at the school, like right after Shador got drafted, brought Shador in. Shador came, spoke to the kids, ain't asked for no money, nothing like that. Like, he seems like a good kid to me. I don't get it. I mean, obviously he's a little showy, but his dad is Deion Sanders. You expect him to be quiet?
Right. My thing is Deion Sanders, back when he was playing, was the ultimate showman. And he was funny, he was entertaining. And with Shador is maybe what, 22 or 23. I mean, he's a young, he young. He basically a kid compared to us. Like, when I was 21, 22, can I not say I wasn't arrogant? No. Can I not say I felt like I knew everything? Yeah, I mean, I know people want to say that, but it's like, he's a kid, you know? I don't, let it go. It's nothing violent, on his record, or nothing crazy. We all was that age and was, what they want to say, quote unquote, immature or arrogant or whatever. He'll be all right.
Yeah, it was all lame, but at this point I don't even want to dissect that too much. But the Browns are strange and they are a mess, and I do wonder if Shador is going to eventually get his shot in Cleveland or if it'll be somewhere else. I just hope that he does get a shot. I do think he'll break through and be a decent quarterback. If it's not in Cleveland, well, that's just kind of their loss. But moving on from the dumpster fires of the division, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I think they're interesting. I think this is a playoff team. I'll say it now.
Yeah, I think it's okay. One thing about Pittsburgh, they'll at least win 10 games. They'll be in the playoffs. They'll be in the wild card. They'll be in the mix. Do I see anything beyond wild card, maybe divisional? No.
I feel you. I think this is a playoff team. I think they will probably win in between 9 and 11 games, same as always. We'll see how they look in the preseason. We'll see how they look in camp and things like that. This defense is going to probably be top 5-ish in the league.
Oh yeah, that defense.
Defense top 5-ish in the league. I think the offensive line continues to make improvements in Pittsburgh. And I mean, they did go get DK Metcalf, which basically DK Metcalf is like the future version of George Pickens, essentially, as a player. DK Metcalf is obviously more physical of a player, but I think George Pickens' ceiling is literally DK Metcalf. So they got DK Metcalf like 4 years in advance. Outside of that, I do think they need to get more weapons. Again, say it with me, Michigan guy. Roman Wilson, I want to see get a shot, but I don't know what's going on there. Calvin Austin seems like a good number 3 receiver, but I don't know about a number 2. He's really small. I like Pat Freiermuth. Apparently, the Steelers are trying to acquire every single tight end that has ever existed.
Yeah, I
Arthur Smith really loves. Yeah, a lot of moves for tight ends. I mean, that's cool. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers will use the tight ends, but lost Najee Harris, got Jalen Warren, drafted Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, which I thought was a really good move. I think this team, if it really does come down to Aaron Rodgers, I know that it's easy to say that, but it really does come down to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did not have bad statistics with the Jets, and I think that Aaron Rodgers is better than both Russell Wilson now and Justin Fields now. I think he raises this Steelers ceiling a little bit. I don't know. I'm wondering. Aaron Rodgers as a thrower of the football is arguably the best thrower of the football ever. Not necessarily the best quarterback, but the best thrower of the football. Something tells me something could come together with this team. I'm not saying it's a Super Bowl team,
No.
but I find them sneaky because they're going to play outstanding defense. Should be able to run the ball a little bit. And if Aaron Rodgers has just one last gasp of semi-elite play in him, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many teams have a better makeup because again, the defense is legit. Like they're going to keep them in every single game.
I agree. I think the defense will keep them in every game. That offense, I think Aaron Rodgers will be okay. I don't think he's going to be elite MVP. No. I think he'll be okay. Their offensive line was ranked 20th, so I do worry, will they have Aaron Rodgers running for his life back there?
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line rankings I feel like are skewed because neither Russell Wilson or Justin Fields are very good decision makers. They both hold on to the football really, really, really long. So I think that might have made the offensive line look a little bit worse. Not that Aaron Rodgers is the quickest decision maker at this stage in his career either, but I don't know. I'm just buying all the stock on Steelers Island right now.
Why?
Something tells me if this team gets into the playoffs and gets a favorable matchup, for one, the Ravens never really play up to their potential against the Steelers. They struggle against the Steelers every single year.
Oh, they have Lamar running.
If they get matched up against the Ravens in the playoffs, I think they could win that game. If they get matched up against the Chargers in the playoffs, I think they could win that game. If they get matched up against the Bills in the playoffs, I think they can win that game. The Chiefs obviously are the Chiefs, but the Chiefs don't really run away from teams. They're going to keep you in it too. I don't see too many teams that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a bad matchup for them. Because at the end of the day, the Steelers defense is going to keep them in play. And if their offense can just figure something out, if they can just be run first, pass efficient, which Aaron Rodgers is possibly the most efficient quarterback to ever play football. I'm just saying, if they get a good matchup, if they get a team that's playing not well in the playoffs, I could see this team making a run to at least the divisional round, if not the AFC Championship game.
Hell no, I'm not going AFC Championship game. Who are they going to beat?
Who can they not beat in the AFC is my question.
Okay.
I don't know. I think they signed TJ Watt. Like, they got Highsmith. They got guys in the middle. Like, they got guys that can cover. Jalen Ramsey,
They'll be in the playoffs. I ain't arguing that. But I think instead of them usually losing that first playoff game, I think they'll win it.
That alone is that's pretty impressive. And they got Mike Tomlin as the head coach, which Mike Tomlin's a winner. Mike Tomlin is a winner. Mike Tomlin don't break when the moment comes up. Like, I just feel like the Steelers team, I don't know, something is giving me vibes that this could be that team where everybody's like, damn, why do we not think that they could do it?
Okay.
That's all I got. But I'll still say 10. I'll still say 10 wins. I don't think that they're going to look dominant in a regular season. But if this offense shows something, which it might be horrible, and the offense might be horrible, I will say that. But if they're not, we'll see.
Okay, so let's pivot to the divisional winners of the AFC North, which will be the Ravens, which I don't even know why we need to talk much about the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win the division. I have them, again, 12 wins. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry is going to be Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers is going to be Zay Flowers. Give him his flowers. 1,000 yards rusher. I like him. But I think they're going to win the division. Definitely with Lamar on their side. And we already know how Lamar does in the regular season. We know how he's going to take off. Now in the playoffs, what is he, 1-4 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But on paper, they look really good. That defense, pretty much top 10 in every category defensively. I mean, Derrick Henry, arguably the second best running back in the league behind
I don't
Saquon.
do that, but
I
yeah.
think it's the third. I think Jameer, ours, is second.
There you go. There you go.
I think Jameer passed him last year, but we'll see. But I think the Ravens are going to be the Ravens' dominant 12-win team in the mix.
Yeah, I think they win the division. I think they probably win a game or two more than that, honestly. I think on paper, the three best teams in the league are Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Detroit. On paper, I think those are the three best teams in the league. I think this team might be on paper potentially the best. And yet I still don't fully believe in them because they still have not addressed the one spot that I just cannot seem to figure out why they want to address. Who is the go-to receiver on this team?
I guess it's Zay Flowers.
Your go-to receiver can't be 5'9". He's not Steve Smith. I'm not. They did sign DeAndre Hopkins, but DeAndre Hopkins obviously later stages of his career. Maybe they feel like that's gonna be enough. Lamar needs a guy that when he dropping back, he can throw a fade route to, he can throw a back shoulder throw to, and he knows that guy is going to come up with the ball. I feel like the teams that do win are the teams that can do that. I mean, the Eagles won last year. They have two guys that can do that, but AJ Brown is probably the best contested catch receiver in the league. So I feel like they don't necessarily need AJ Brown because obviously that would be OP. Like they would be insane with him. But I think they need somebody that they can rely on who can win like 50-50 balls for Lamar. Because at the end of the day, Lamar does all this running around and extending plays. And a lot of the passes that Lamar makes, it seems like the receivers are super open. I just feel like a lot of that is due to his ability to extend the play, the play design itself. I don't trust these guys to be man-to-man coverage outside of Zay Flowers. But again, Zay Flowers is not the type to go up and win you a jump ball, win you a one-on-one 50-50 kind of ball. I still think that's missing for the Ravens. The Ravens need that. Otherwise, we're going to see these playoff games where they score 10, 15, 17 points. So I don't know. I hope that they make a midseason trade or maybe D-Hop has a little more left in the tank, but they need a 50-50 guy. I really do think that they need that. Otherwise, this team is perfect.
I mean, Zay Flowers is undersized. Now, who they gonna get though? Are we looking in the draft?
I mean, if we talk about this year, I just feel like you should make a move for somebody if you feel like that's a hole for you. I mean, maybe they feel like Rashad Bateman or one of these guys can break through and be that. Rashad Bateman's a good player, don't get me wrong, but as a 50-50 guy, I don't see it. I really don't. And I really wish that the Ravens would have made that AJ Brown like trade where they just go get a receiver that's super undervalued, that a team that's not good is not using. I'm trying to think around the league who that would even be. Like a team that just isn't very good, but is willing to sell off somebody that's kind of like not really needed necessarily. I don't know. I feel like they need that. They need some more size on the outside. They do. You think it too? Yeah, I don't know who it is for them at this point. I don't know who it is for them at this point.
Brian Thomas, Jacksonville.
No, they're not trading him. No, he's like a franchise player. Yeah, they're not trading him. I'm thinking maybe a Chris Olave, like somebody from the Saints, like somebody who's on a team that doesn't really have much use for them because they're just not going to be that good, and they might be willing to trade him for a second or third round pick. Like somebody that is reliable, somebody that has size, speed, whatever, like dynamic. Because Zay Flowers is dynamic, but Zay Flowers is small. That limits his ability to where he can work in the field. I think that they need a dynamic outside receiver, and they just don't seem to ever get that for Lamar.
Yeah, well, does Lamar want that?
I don't know. I mean, even like when Lamar was in college at Louisville, he had, I believe, Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker's well past whatever. Like I think he's out the league at this point. But somebody, just somebody that you can throw the ball up to again and win, or somebody that gets open more consistently. Like
Well, we
I
got
don't.
St. Brown, so they can't have St. Brown. So, Mr. Reliable.
I mean, but even like with a St. Brown, because I feel like Zay Flowers can be similar to a St. Brown, but we also have a JMO. Like without the JMO, the Laporta, I I feel like the Ravens need that. And they got Mark Andrews, who's a good tight end, but Mark Andrews is just not good in the playoffs. He really is not.
Yeah, because didn't he drop that pass?
Yeah, I saw somebody post something on Twitter earlier about how much his stats drop in the playoffs. I know it's just a random post on Twitter, but they were making a pretty intriguing argument. He's horrible in the playoffs. Like he turns into a really bad player. And that's just the consistent thing for him. So I I don't know. They need a dynamic outside receiver. Maybe they feel like DeAndre Hopkins gives them enough. I don't know. Calvin Ridley, another guy who is on a team that doesn't necessarily have the most going on. Like, would they take a second round pick for him? Like, go get him because I think that puts you over the top. Jerry Judy.
How big is Jerry Judy? Jerry Judy looked a little small to me.
Jerry Judy not that big, but Jerry Judy does play on the outside at least. Like he can play on the outside. He can win you something. Maybe they feel like Bateman can do what Jerry Judy does. I don't know, but I just think that they need a more dynamic outside receiver.
Yeah.
Somebody that's taller than 5'9", that's also good.
Okay, well, with that being said, how is the division rankings going to you?
I'll say this division will have 3 playoff teams.
Who? Cincinnati?
I think the Ravens finish in first. I think the Steelers finish in second, and I do think Cincinnati sneaks into the playoffs.
That would be a nice, because I want to see them in the play. Well, obviously, I'm a Lions fan, but if I wasn't a Lions fan, I do like Cincinnati. But I would like to see Cincinnati in the playoffs because, boy, that Joe Burrow, he got a case for MVP. That boy can sling it, boy.
They were this close to sneaking in last year. They were still that. If they get Hendrickson playing at some point this season, I think that they are good enough to figure it out and maybe win 10 games, 9 games, maybe. I don't know if 9 games is going to get them in the AFC, but 10 should.
But they won 9 last year.
Yeah, and I don't think that they'll be worse than they were last year on deep. Well, it depends on if Hendrickson plays, to be honest. Because if he doesn't play, then yeah, they have no shot at the playoffs if he doesn't play. But if he plays, I could see it. I really do. And I think that at some point they'll have to figure it out. So, yeah, I think that the Ravens win probably 13, 14 games and they still don't win the Super Bowl somehow. The Steelers win like 10-ish games and potentially go even further than the Ravens do. And the Bengals flame out because no defense. But they do make the playoffs. The Browns, we'll see.
Yeah, I think it will be the Ravens. I think they'll have more than the Steelers will have more than Cincinnati. Cincinnati will be third, and then Cleveland will be fourth. I think that's how it's going to go. But any given Sunday, shall they say?
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Never know. Yeah, this is an interesting division for sure. One of the more interesting divisions in the league.
All right, so the next episode, we're going to wrap up with the NFC.
Yeah, we'll run through the NFC and get a few more divisions down. Keep the previews coming, making sure that y'all know exactly what's going to happen this season again because we are the experts.
What qualifies us to be the experts? I'll just go with it. All right, I'll take the win.
A lot of research.
All right, so also the July 31st preseason game, we're going to cover that, and we'll continue with, well, you know what? You know what we should do? We should break from the AFC covering it, and then we should cover the game, and then we can continue covering the NFC.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Alrighty.
All right, y'all. Well, we're going to get out of here. Peace, love, hair grease, all that good stuff. Y'all know where to follow us. CB, let them know.
All right. You can follow us anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, all that, Amazon Music. Follow us on TikTok, 411 Lions. Peace. Until next time.